I was there. I don't have to listen to it.
This week's show because it was a disaster.
When you live in a beach resort, it's easy to forget whether you are playing or working. On each week's show, we settle in with a cocktail and try to figure out if there is a difference. This is Day Drinking on Delmarva.
I am Todd from GoodCleanFunLife.com.
I almost said I am Todd from GoodCleanFunLife.com. I swear to Christ. And I am Tony Russo, no relation, and you're listening to Day Drinking on Delmarva, a podcast about life and culture on the Delmarva Peninsula. Todd drinks because he gets to live here, and he gets to leave sometimes.
Yes.
And I drink because I don't, although I will be leaving next weekend, and I don't know if I'm going to survive. But we'll get into all of that in this fun time that we have coming up. It's been almost a month. Has it been a month? It's been 3 weeks? It's been a while.
It's probably been a month. We're not rusty at all.
No, not at all. I've been listening, though. I listen to the podcast and I do, the production stuff. So I've been on autopilot for a while and I'm a little sick today. I don't know if you can tell. You can tell. I was just kind of singing along with it. And I'm like, oh, when this song's over, what comes next? I am Todd from Good Clean Fun Life. It would have been really funny if you hadn't have spoken, like if your microphone cut out, I would have said it and not realize it till I was halfway through the sentence. So how have you been? Welcome back from your travels.
I have been great, and I'm rested and relaxed. Maybe a little tan, but that's fading fast.
And, I still got a little red on your face. Unless you've already been literally drinking. It is 10:30 a.m. as we record.
It's a little bit early, but
even for us.
The theme. So we were down in Florida. Let's jump right into it, right?
Please.
We're becoming snowbirds, right? I never thought that I would be the kind of person that would spend an exorbitant amount of time in a warm weather place. And actually, I grew up going more to the mountains in summer and winter than I did going to the beach, and that has definitely influenced my life in many different ways. But here I am, and this is the third year now that we've gone down to the Keys, the northernmost Keys, so Key Largo and Islamorada and that sort of thing. And have you ever been down there?
No.
It is. So like Key Largo is kind of I don't want to say it's Ocean City, but it's a little bit more, it's a little more working class, I would say. And then Islamorada is a little bit more of the upper crust. And, we've been going down because a number of people from the Dewey Beach area, in particular, folks centered around the Dewey Beach Country Club, which, if you don't know, is not a country club at all. It's a Caddyshack themed bar.
So when you said that, I'm like, really?
Yeah. It's more the dive bar diplomat kind of scene than it is the country club scene. But they've been good, friends, bartenders, bar owners, and patrons have been going down there for a number of years. Just, February is kind of dead for the bar business, and it's kind of crappy around here. So why not close up shop and head down for a little bit?
And you were gone for like literally the worst week up here in like a decade.
Yes, we were. We did catch the first round of the worst week, because there were two worst weeks on Delmarva. One that was 8 degrees for
really cold,
7 days straight, and as you know, living in an old house. Had me working or doing some projects that I'd been putting off, truthfully, for years, as including like insulating the walls and of the crawl space underneath my house.
That's what I'm doing all this summer.
Yes, and it worked. It was pretty good and helpful. But we were talking before the show about guys over 50 shoveling sidewalks and having heart attacks.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, that's all well and good. And there was a moment where I was underneath my house with foam board and plastic and, you know, a headlamp on and bitter cold. And I'm just laying there and I'm like, if I were to have a heart attack right now, they wouldn't find me for a while.
Right.
I mean, you know, within the hour they might find me, but I've already been, this is like day 3 of being underneath the house and for an extended period of time.
Right.
And then, you know, poor Natalie would have to drag me out of there. And that would be, that would be a horrible experience. So,
and you weigh like a full 150 pounds less than me. So
yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, so it was harrowing, but it was also reassuring knowing that we had this trip. And what we've done in the past, the last couple years, is we drive down, we take the van, and we stop a couple stops along the way, stretch the trip out. You know, we had done probably 10 days, 7 days down in Key Largo with 2 or 3 days on either end. But last year we decided that we were gonna do a full 2 weeks, and what we had decided was we were gonna do 2 weeks with some friends of ours that we stayed with for a night last year, and very good people, generous, match well in terms of being able to stay together, and then we were gonna do a week on our own in this cute little campground that we've been in the past. And after the first week of staying with our friends in the really nice place, as I said, Islamorada was where their house was. We're like, maybe we'll just stick it out here for the next 2 weeks. So basically, we spent two nights in the place that we rented, and then went back to their place with the pool on the canal, and all of the benefits of having a big kitchen and a lot of people who like to cook and that sort of thing. So it was a very great experience. I think I can't help the quote of the 2 weeks was probably sitting by the pool on a daily basis and saying, "This does not suck." and the realization also that, like, this is what people get to do during the summer, and we don't get to do that during the summer,
right?
Here at the beach. So it was a nice appreciation of that rest and that relaxation that we like to facilitate down here on Delmarva.
Well, while you were doing that, I was quitting my job and doing the
so you can come next year. That's perfect.
So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's been a crazy week. I want to go back just a little bit to the intro. For those of you who are listening and not watching, we have a video intro, and I get to look at my office over the years and like what's in the background. And what was really amusing today was earlier this morning, I looked into my office and I'm like, you look like a hoarder. You don't look like because I've been rearranging I've got, a television half put together here, and I've got some of my clothes moved over here, and all the boxes were piled up behind me. And I moved them before the show so that behind me was just my regular studio look. And then as I was watching the video in the beginning, I'm like, you could have done that a decade ago. Just move the shit out of the way for when you're recording.
Yeah, right. Well, in frame looks pretty good right now, but
it always does. I try to make it that way. I'm very conscious of that, and I'm like, when did you become conscious of it? And it's when I started doing the podcast, the funeral news podcast, which I'll be doing later today. So I'll have to deal with my hair in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, I quit my job. I started a new job of being my own publisher. It has been It's been an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Several
I
things.
love that.
It's been a great couple weeks. So I took, as I've been promising to do for years, and only did finally 2 weeks ago. I took my best 1,000 emails, and I uploaded them to Substack. And I did this because I was debuting my podcast about the Ocean City Film Festival, the last
Yeah.
episode of which went live either this morning or yesterday. I think yesterday late morning.
Okay.
So it's 4 episodes. It's about an hour and change if you want to listen to them all in a row. I would recommend listening to them in order. They're good. And it's not me, it's everybody. But the last episode I wanted to have come out Monday, and then we had a big storm, as we were talking about, and I had taken a bunch of pine branches down, and I just had a face full of, as my daughter likes to call it, pine spunk in my face. And so now I can't breathe or see.
Yeah.
So I was trying to cure myself, and then I ran out of time because today starts the Ocean City Film Festival as we're recording this on March 5th. And I'm very excited for them, and I'm very excited for the 10th anniversary, and I'm proud of the work that I did on the episode. But what I'm really what I'm more excited about is that I uploaded those, I think it was 1,500, and I got 0 unsubscribes.
Really?
I'm getting 500 to 900 opens every email so far. Not quite
That's
as many
amazing.
downloads, but they're opening and they're not unsubscribing, and that is very heartening. So hopefully, when I put this out, I'll put it on the Destination Delmarva email. I'll put out the weekly email, like, this is what we did this week. And maybe we'll have some more listeners, although we are really, as always, grateful for the listeners we have now.
Yes.
My new project is called On Deathcare. I'm literally making it up as I go along. And I got like 10 subscribers last month.
Yeah.
Paid subscribers. Paid subscribers.
All right.
Which is again very, very cool. I got maybe 90 actual subscribers, and it's kind of like becoming a thing, and it's really interesting because the industry is so small that that a little ripple, everybody's like, oh, what's this? And people are just finding, and all of a sudden more and more people in the death care space are finding their way to Substack. And more of the people in the death care space on Substack are finding their way to me. So it was like a little pop. And that's the one thing that once Substack sees that you're making money, they help you find more people, So
That's cool.
It's been a really good week, and I've got some great stories coming up. I just had a really nice conversation with a death care lawyer, and I think that's going to be a regular feature. And we talked about they recently, she runs a program in Wake Forest. She's a professor of law at Wake Forest, and one of her specialties is death care. And we talked about a new survey they had out, and it's really just about why people are afraid of talking about. I'm sorry. What it is how do you want to be buried? Or do you want to be buried? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to have water cremation? Do you want to have natural burial? Or do you want to have natural organic reduction? Those are kind of the 5 things that can happen to you after you die.
Right.
And most people don't say cremation. Most people are cremated. And it's a really kind of interesting juxtaposition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cremation is everyone's second choice. I want to do this, or be cremated.
Yeah.
But or be cremated is always the answer. And a lot of times it has to do with the cost, because being cremated is less expensive than being anything else.
Yeah.
Except for some places, water cremation, also known as alkaline hydrolysis, I refer to it as aquamation. That is the same price as cremation in a lot of places, but it's not legal in lots of places because you don't need a casket, and it's as simple as that. And that is like, it's hard to root for the funeral industry when they're keeping people from having what they want so that they can force them to buy what they need them to buy, instead of changing their business. And it's America, it's protectionism, of course, I know.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have any good movies. Like it's lots of things like that. So
yeah.
But if you don't mind, go ahead.
It's it is interesting that it is the final act is such a thoughtful thing, but at the same time capitalism creeps in.
Oh, and go ahead.
And the burden on the people left behind. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the biggest thing is I don't want to be a burden for whoever's taking care of it. I just assume die and rot underneath of the house,
But that's the problem. That's the problem. And it's really a conversation that I love having, and I love that people have it. But the problem is people are like, I don't want to be a burden, but I also don't want to make any plans.
Yeah.
So you do want to be a burden. Anytime someone tells me they want to be a burden, I always say, oh, so you've already planned your funeral? Oh, no. They'll just do whatever they want. Well, that makes you a burden.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's a good point.
Just do whatever you want is saying, I like to be a burden if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And people don't really kind of get that in very important ways. And that's one of the things, talking to this woman, I think I might try to do. I've been, I like covering the death care industry because it's an industry and it needs to be covered, and people need to know. People within the industry need to know what's going on within the industry besides, hey, there's a new casket for sale. Oh, there is a new casket for sale, and I think that's fun. But I also think that maybe there must be a way to write about this for normal people. And I'm wondering if maybe I'll start to let a little of this slip into my other writing, or maybe I'll expand on death care to write, on death care for civilians or something like that, where it's just, people need to understand that if they don't, nothing's going to keep them from dying.
Right.
And if they don't at least say, this is what I want, then they're literally being a burden. And, one of the really fun parts of the survey that they did, and this is something you might actually see this in the news, because last time they did it, it was a similar reaction, and it was in the news. It was like, Gen Z wants traditional burial with a coffin and everything.
Right.
And yeah, I guess. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to drink some water. I'm going to choke.
That's all right.
But if you ask any 20-year-old, what do you want your funeral? Yeah, I want a state funeral. I want a huge casket. I want 1,000 people. I want flowers. I want a big graveyard procession, just like I see on TV.
Yeah.
And then they turn 50 or 35 even. And it's like, okay, well, that will cost $30,000. And you're like, well, what's cremation cost again?
Right. Right.
Yes, of course. If I die young and I want a big thing, I want a lion state, And the other thing that was fun is there's kind of a reaction against being embalmed, which I understand. But also people want to have open caskets. Again, the Gen Z, they want open caskets, but they also don't want to be embalmed. And I'm like, okay, well then you have to have your open casket within like 15 hours of your death. Otherwise, you're just going to stink and sink. Your face is going to come into itself, and it's going to be unpleasant for everyone involved.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we talked about on the show, which will be out next Tuesday. And I think it's a really interesting one, and I think I might try to do more of that. I want to talk really briefly about Facebook before I throw it back to you.
Okay.
So I decided, so I've got a new business, right? And I'm like, you should post on Facebook.
Yeah.
I can't. It is
good.
It is so fucking crazy. I'm going to write about this weekend. So here's a preview, especially since you're probably not going to read it. When I was 19 or 20, I went to this famous punk rock place in New Jersey called the Dirt Club.
Okay.
And I don't know how it wasn't condemned. No one ever knew how it wasn't condemned. It's in Bloomfield, which is like by Elizabeth, kind of East Orange kind of way. And it was like you pull up and you're like, this place isn't open. And
Right.
then you go in, you hear music, and there's a bar, and it is filthy. And I was in the basement, and there was lots of very heavy metal, like literally like the magazine, like lots of big-breasted women carrying swords painted on the walls. But there's also a ton of like graffiti, and I remember thinking, and this is what came back to me when I was trying to post on Facebook. I remember thinking, like, how do they decide where to put the graffiti? Like, there's so much shit where you're like, well, I need to put shit here too. And that's exactly, I joined a bunch of funeral groups on Facebook, and I was gonna, post my story. I'm like, well, where do I put my shitty shit among all this other shitty garbage? And it felt like, trying to find a place to spray paint in a condemned building. That's what Facebook looked like to me, after not having really posted anything on it for a long time.
It is great, or it's a great observation. The realization I had very recently, coming back and trying to jump back into work mode. We're gearing up for the Starbird's opening weekend and St. Patrick's Day celebration, and getting messaging out there, and then of course videos and that sort of thing. And the realization is that when I signed off of Facebook in early summer last year, I stopped. I signed off of everything ish, and was still checking it because it's still part of my job for businesses and our own little business. But I never signed back on to Facebook. I still have a Facebook. I still occasionally go in and look at the business side of Facebook on my desktop, not on my phone. But I realized that none of my shit is pushing over the Facebook, and I've not missed it one bit. For like, as far like I got, I signed off early summer last year. I got a bunch of like, whatever birthday messages, and a couple people have sent me some things over, and I've met people while at events, and I've had friend requests that are months old from people that I would like to connect with, but I just don't do it there. And talk about the enshittification of just about everything, and I don't think it's salvageable.
Well, I mean, someone must be. I think that there are people who are making money on it, and then people, who there are people who get things out of it. It just wasn't for me. And like you said, I didn't miss it. The thing is that they want to keep you there. Any place that they want to keep you, why do I don't? It would be easier for me to knock on other people's, like to go literally door to door and say, hey, would you like to subscribe to my newsletter? Here's why. I would get more subscribers this way.
I think this is the part of the show where we both agree that Substack is where we need to be putting our energy, especially after hearing about you getting some paid subscribers and the email marketing aspect of it.
Yeah, that's it's absolutely the truth. And I think, who knows what's going to come next? Substack is certainly kind of a now thing. But I want to recommend to you and also to the listeners who are interested in especially this kind of thing, 2 podcasts. One is called The Rebooting Show, and the other one is called People versus Algorithms. And People versus Algorithms is great. And it's really it's about digital media. And it's about what's going on in digital media. You can listen to an entire show and not hear anything about politics or anything, anything upsetting about politics. Like, this is what's happening. This is how the media is dealing with it. Like, it's more about like how people are making money as legacy media comes apart. And the Rebooting Show is similar. And one of the host of the Rebooting Show is one of the 3 guys on the People versus Algorithms. But what was really great for me was they had on the rebooting show this woman who runs an FDA newsletter, and she's not on Substack. She's on Beehive, and Beehive is what comes after Substack because they don't take as much money. They don't take any money. It's like $50 a month to be on it. And they can do revenue sharing and stuff like that. And for bigger publishers, it's a big deal. But she was describing how she stopped working at Politico and did her own newsletter. And it was literally everything she thought and everything she did was precisely what I thought and did, except she's better at her job and she makes, she's her subscription is like $500 a month. I mean, she's selling to, senators and shit like that.
Right.
Or $500 a year. I don't know. $500 is a lot of money to ask for people. $250 gets you full access to Tony Russo, and $100 a year gets you all my funeral writings. But it was really heartening to hear that I wasn't making it up. I'm going to just do this. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to just do this. And here's what I did. And it was really heartening. And so, but if anyone who's interested in finding out what's happening to media on a large scale and what its implications can be for smaller producers like us. They're very good shows. And I didn't mean to take up the whole show talking about that and not talking about the Ocean City Film Festival, but you can find Ocean City Film Festival stuff on Destination Delmarva. This is our last minute commercial. We're sponsored by our favorite businesses. This week it's Destination Delmarva. You can subscribe at destinationdelmarva.com. And so what do you have coming up? What are you doing is that next weekend, huh?
Yeah, so it's already here, and that's one of the great things about going away for for an entire month. It's the opening weekend, St. Patrick's Day celebration. It's also today, as we're recording, coinciding with the ticket sales for Ocean's Calling, the concert. We'll be meeting. That's the big concert downtown on the beach. The lineup came out this week for the artists who are playing, and I think it looks like we're gonna do Sunday. We're not gonna do the whole weekend. I think a couple people have mentioned that they're not super stoked on the on the lineup, but it is what it is. I don't. You can only. It's a great festival. It's a great experience to be there at Ocean's Calling, but yeah, the tickets are on sale today, so hopefully you're getting those, and you can find out all you want on social media about that. Just a little plug in there for Ocean City, and I always love the thought of you in Ocean City in the middle of something like that. But that's just for my own entertainment.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could do it. I'm looking at the lineup, and like I said, I think I've probably gone to my last concert. I might go to a couple more, but Noah Kahan's not coming. I don't know why. Is it because he sold out the whole world?
Yeah.
We were going to try to see him. We found out because my wife's a fan of Noah Kahan, and I really enjoyed the last concert we went to. His tickets went on sale for like every baseball stadium in the country or something like that, and they all sold out immediately.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, wait, I know you. You're that alt guy I used to listen to, and
right.
So good for him. Congratulations to Noah Kahan.
Good for him. He's a good boy. But for as far as more recent stuff that's coming up, of course the Ocean City St. Patrick's Day Parade is going to be the next Saturday. But we'll be in Dewey for the opening weekend, and it's craziness, but amongst the craziness, the most fun is the Sunday at Starboard when things slow down a little bit. There's plenty of entertainment that they have there. We'll be there documenting and participating a little bit in some of the mayhem and that sort of stuff. And then also coming up for us, I'll maybe be able to report back a little bit more. We will be meeting with our partners over at Freeman Art Pavilion. So they have already released some dates, and they have some good acts that are coming there, and we'll find out what involvement we're going to have with performances and projects with them. I think they have the new stage that's being built, and we've been documenting some of that construction, and I think we'll be doing a nice intro video for that, which I think I'm looking forward to, like a long format piece on that.
Oh, that's fun.
Just to add a feather to the cap. And I mean, we love the Freeman family. They've been a part. We've been a part of them since moving down here, all 20 some almost 30 years ago. So yeah, that'll be something to look forward to as well. So lots of things on the horizon. Rested and relaxed. I got my summertime in while down in Florida. Looking forward to a good next 11 months, and then I'll take another month off and rinse and repeat, I hope.
I just one last thing, and we can talk about this more next week. Do you happen to have Apple TV?
Yes.
Do you watch soccer? I decided to start watching soccer this year. So
I've like the Premier League,
MLS soccer.
No,
because they have all the games.
Soccer.
Yeah, well, they have all the games. So I figured as long as they have all the games, and as long as I'm paying for it, I'm going to watch.
Might as well watch. Yeah.
So I'm a Cincinnati supporter, Cincinnati Football Club, and I just chose them really random. My wife is from Cincinnati, and so that was really, they don't have New Jersey's team is called the New York Red Bulls, and fuck that. You know what? Finally, just fuck that.
As you have your Mets hat and your Mets sweatshirt on.
Yeah, the New York Mets, and they play in Queens, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But the Jersey Red Bulls going by the New York Red Bulls, fuck them. The New York Jets, just fuck them because they suck and they're awful, and I hope they all get cancer. Starting with the ownership.
Yeah.
But anyway, and so I put on my first Cincinnati game to watch it blind.
Yeah.
They're blue and orange.
Oh, funny. Oh, good. Perfect.
So at least I have the colors already, even if I don't have any of the gear.
You get,
But yeah, we can talk more about that and other things next week. But for now, let's call it a day. I got nothing else really big anyway. How about you?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, remember, until next time at the beach.
It's happy hour whenever you say it is.
Fuck. I'm the goodbye guy. I keep forgetting.